I was a little girl, I believed that I could do and be anything I wanted. Whether that was a teacher, a doctor, a powerful student, or even a novelist. I'm lucky because in my life, my parents have always encouraged me to go after my dreams. And a common quote at my house is, Megan, you can do anything you put your mind to. You have the power to make anything happen. I'm also lucky because in my life, I am surrounded by female role models, women who have followed after their dreams.
My mom is the best example of this. She grew up in Chesapeake, Virginia, and was the first in her family to go to college. When she did go to college, she worked day and night to pay for her expenses. When I was about 7, she started her own advertising agencies and is now one of the most successful women I know. When I was 11, I told my mom that I wanted to do something amazing, that I wanted to change the world. And when I was 13, I told my mom that I was going to start my own company, just like she did. For me, it wasn't hard to believe that I was capable of these accomplishments because, I saw a woman as a leader every single day of my life. I didn't really recognize any barriers for women in leadership until the 2016 presidential election. To be honest, I never even thought about it. But I became invested in electing our first woman as president, and I watched the debates closely. When she didn't win, I was obviously very disappointed. Now, regardless of your political views, I'm sure a lot of you also have disappointment that we still don't have a female president. I also started to wonder why we don't have a female president, why we haven't had 10 or 20 female presidents by now. And I also started to question whether the girls my age will be part of the problem or part of the solution. Well, I decided that I would be part of the solution. But to do that, I first had to understand how big the problem really is. So I did some research. And what I found actually really shocked me. So I found that women hold 52% of all professional level jobs, but are still drastically underrepresented in these leadership positions. Women only hold 5% of Fortune 500 CEO positions, 14.6% of executive officers, and 8.1% of top earners. There are still a lot of companies that don't even have women as the board of directors, despite the fact that boards that include women outperform those that don't. In 2016, why is this still happening? But the more important question is, how are women supposed to believe that they can be leaders when men are still claiming the most leadership positions? I also started to wonder why women haven't already stepped up and taken these leadership positions. Well, I found that there is a lot of biases against girls that limit our beliefs that we can be these leaders. These biases are caused from highly competitive feelings, lack of confidence, and projecting that lack of confidence onto others, and being viewed as too emotionally dramatic. I even see a lot of these things in my everyday life. I see women who don't really raise their hand in class though they have the right answer. I see women preface their questions with, "I'm sorry, I have a dumb question." I even see some girls seeking approval from others before they share their thoughts or even take action. So what now? What are we going to do about this? Well, first we have to realize that feminism is not a dirty word, and it's actually something we should talk about. Gender bias does exist, and we do need to have a conversation about it. I see too many times my friends kind of shy away from controversial topics, but we need to get comfortable with uncomfortable conversations. If women before us weren't willing to have uncomfortable conversations, we wouldn't have the right to vote, get an education, or even work outside the home. Feminism is not a dirty word. In fact, it is something we should embrace. We also need to stay involved and use our voice. Last year, I became very passionate about women's equality, but I didn't really know how to channel that passion into action. I'm sure a lot of you struggle with that as well. So, on January of 2017, I found my answer. I marched with over 500,000 men and women, and it was one of the most amazing days of my life. So think about what you can do to either share your thoughts on social media or talk to your friends. There's always a way to use your voice. Never forget that. We also need to stop making assumptions about women and what they can and cannot do. When you see this woman, I don't want you to think that she's being bossy when she is displaying her confidence. Don't assume that she wears makeup to hide her flaws. Don't assume that she won't want to be part of the robotics club or wants to learn how to code. Don't assume that she won't be the President of the United States one day. Get to know her for what her strengths and passions truly are, not what you assume they will be. And lastly, we need to believe in ourselves. To all women, it is about time that we are equally represented in these leadership positions. So go out and claim a leadership position, whether that's in the classroom, your team, a club, and for the adults out there, your workplace, or even political office. There's always something you can do. In fact, last year, a couple of months ago, I decided that I was going to run for student council for the first time. The thought of it actually terrified me, and I didn't think I was going to go through with it. But with the help of others, I actually did end up going to it, and I actually won. So it taught me that sometimes you have to push yourselves, because that's how change happens. If no one's going to step up, and if no one changes, then nothing's going to change. So I want to remind you all that you can do something amazing. And let my mom's quote inspire you. You can do anything you put your mind to. You have the power to make anything happen. And let me remind you, you have the power to be powerful. So go be powerful. Thank you.